Guys, let's talk facts, not noise. When your president speaks, and his speech is so unique and stands out, blending practical domestic solution with a bold African vision on the global stage, all delivered in a humble and a unifying tone, what else can you say than to say thank you, Your Excellency, for such a remarkable speech? If you are part of the YPGG, just pick your phone and go to his DM on social media and say, Your Excellency, thank you. Thank you, because we heard you when you spoke about the national research and Accra research, which is going to be deeply rooted in accountability. We heard you speak about a 24-hour economy that is going to drive job, productivity, and local industry. We heard you when you spoke about the citizens' daily struggle, combining hope with clear vision and plan. We also heard you when you told other heads of state to embrace transparency, end corruption, and resort to lean government. We just want to say thank you. He might not read everything, he might read a few, but it is good for encouragement and statesmanship. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a pastor, whether you are an MP, whether you're a minority, whether you are a party, go and say thank you. He might not read everything, but it is good. When you listen to the speech at the end of this video, you will know why I'm speaking like this. And the full speech, I just cut some intricate aspects and joined them. If you want to listen to the full speech, I think it's on YouTube. Go and listen and do what I'm telling you. Flood him, bombard him with thank you messages. It's been unique. Mahama internationally, his voice is distinct for its confidence and moral clarity. As a leading advocate for African self-reliance and repatriations, he keeps challenging global power structure, demanding fair representation of Africa and sovereignty in health security and economic development. The video long, I don't want to talk plenty, be like I talk plenty. Let's listen to the video and tell me what you think.
Africa must pull itself up by its own bootstraps. Global humanitarian assistance is shrinking, and many developed countries, including Europe, are compelled to cut overseas development assistance and increase defense spending by the new reality of an unpredictable ally across the Atlantic. The COVID experience was a wake-up call. Africa was the last continent to begin receiving vaccines amid a global pandemic. Just last September at the UN General Assembly, I introduced the Accra Research Initiative, not as another declaration, not as a wish list, but as a practical answer to a question millions of young Africans are asking: what should Africa's response be in a changing global order? Today in Ghana, we're answering that question. We're resetting our country. We're cutting waste, we're restoring hope, and we're building systems that work. In my first year of being back in office, we've shown that democracy works, and that change is possible when leadership is focused and accountable to the people. From a debt-distressed, crisis-ridden economy, we've achieved an impressive turnaround with a stable macroeconomy characterized by single-digit inflation, a strengthened currency, and increased business confidence. But here's what keeps me up at night. Ghana's success alone is not enough. However admirable Ghana's turnaround story is, we cannot be a jewel in the dirt. We must work together as Africa. We must knit together the patchwork of success stories to take what's working across many countries in Africa and the global south and scale it up across other countries, to move from resetting one country to resetting the entire development model for the global south. We depend on others for our security choices. We depend on donors for our health and educational systems. We supply the world's critical minerals but capture almost none of its value. This isn't sovereignty, it's a trap, and it's getting worse. In my quiet moments, as I try to find solutions, here's what I've learned. Crisis creates clarity. The clarity is this: that we must build our own capacity to act. If we could mobilize the world to fight a disease, why can't we mobilize to fight poverty, to fight dependency, to fight the systems that keep brilliant young Africans locked out of the future? In Ghana, we're proving something important, that execution beats excuses. We're cutting government spending and have reduced the size of government to a record low of 58 ministers, including deputy ministers and regional ministers. We're digitizing services to end corruption. We're training young people for the jobs of tomorrow. We have renegotiated our debt so we can invest in our people and not just service loans. This is a resetting Ghana agenda. Now imagine this same approach across Africa and the entire global south. The multilateral order and rules-based system may be under threat, but we can forge a new coalition of the willing based on a shared vision and mutual respect for each other. What if we pooled our negotiating power on critical minerals so we capture value and not just extract raw ore? What if we exercise more sovereignty over our natural resources to create prosperity for our own people? What if we build regional manufacturing hubs that create millions of jobs for our young people? What if we produce our own vaccines and our own medicines with our own technology? This is the Accra Reset vision. It's not a talk shop. It's not a declaration. It's a practical blueprint for how countries can work together to build real sovereignty, the kind that you can measure in jobs created, in children at school, children vaccinated, and young people thriving. In this fast-changing world, we're entering an era where countries must compete, innovate, and build or be left behind. Our young people are watching, they're brilliant, they're hungry, and they're running out of patience. So here's what we must focus on. First, we must invest in skills, not just education, but skills that match real jobs in the real economy. Digital skills, green energy skills, manufacturing skills. We need a generation of young Africans who can build and not just consume. Second, we must build together. No African country can industrialize alone by it. When we bargain separately, we're weak. When we negotiate together on minerals, trade, and climate finance, we can be formidable. We must hold ourselves accountable to our people. We cannot ask the world to invest in us if we tolerate corruption, waste, and systems that don't work. Reset means reform, and reform means results. And so, friends, we didn't come here to ask for charity. We came to propose a global partnership of the willing, based on a shared vision and mutual respect for each other. We want to leave a continent where young people don't risk their lives crossing the Mediterranean because they will have opportunities at home. We want to leave systems that work, industries that thrive, and nations that stand tall. And in this, Ghana cannot do it alone. Africa can't do it alone. There's a call to every leader in this room. If you believe in a world where prosperity is shared, not just based on narrow interests, then join us. If you believe the global south deserves partnership and not pity, join us. If you believe the next chapter of human progress is going to be written in Accra, Nairobi, Kigali, Abuja, and Cairo, then join us. The Accra Reset is not seeking permission, we're building momentum. From New York last September to this room in Davos and to the African Union in Addis Ababa next month, and soon at the Oslo Dialogues, we shall continue to build these partnerships. And so the question is not whether the world needs this, the question is whether we have the courage to build it. I thank you.